Hello, everyone.
Hello, and welcome
To the end
to
of
this somber
Larder.
occasion.
We are saddened to announce that the Larder show is ending,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
we are entering a new chapter.
Mm-hmm.
As in, one of us
Mm-hmm.
is now transitioning into a woman,
Mm-hmm.
so we're changing the name of the show to not include my dead name. Yeah. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Larder
Hi.
show. Well, now it's gonna be the laundry show. It was that I don't know exactly how that came about. I think
The name The Laundry Show has been we've had that for a while now, I feel
we've
like.
had that in the
But
docket. Uh,
mm-hmm.
uh, I don't know why we didn't just go with laundry, but it just
Laundry. I don't know. Laundry is a thing at least. I think
yeah.
that's what
I think it's just funny because it's so close to it's just we just named it the laundry show.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Welcome to the Laundry Show.
laundry show. Let me change the name of the title of the stream to the amazing. Should I do digital laundry or laundry circus?
Digital laundry.
Digital laundry.
That
Hell yeah.
that actually sounds like fun. Like that you could do laundry on your computer.
Dude, everything's getting digital nowadays. Thank you to everyone tuning in. Thank you, Zaf. Thank you, Marcy. Thank you,
Shout out.
Azzy. I'm sorry, Marcy, that the name is not Peanut Butter Hour. Uh, they really wanted that to happen, but it's just not
Sorry
happening.
about that.
Yeah. But yeah. I so yeah. I guess a few months since the last episode, which I think was in like when was the last episode? It's been a
It
while.
was a goddamn long time ago. I'm sorry about that. I've had an insane months, many months.
Yeah.
But I'm finally in a stage where I can do a show again. So,
Yeah.
uh,
And
glad to be back.
I hope we can start doing it more consistently now.
The summers are usually better for me, I think. So I could probably do some more in the summer.
Hell yeah. Uh, but yeah, I came out officially. I mean, I've had like my weird gender things for like a few years, but I officially came out. I'm on HRT. I think I'm gonna be taking my 5th injection tomorrow. So hell yeah.
Let's freaking go.
So yeah. Uh, I'm gonna be a woman, and I guess I am. And that's how I don't know. I'm still like getting used to it, and I know I said that we're getting rid of my dead name. I don't know. I feel like I think differently about stuff like that than a lot of other like
hmm
trans women, because I just like
hmm
I don't know. I like wouldn't care if someone knew what it
Mm.
was. I don't know. I don't know.
You're chill like that.
I'm just chill. I'm just chilling. Yeah.
Okay.
But
Okay.
But today we have a very special
hmm
episode. Uh,
hmm
we're talking about the amazing digital circus.
hmm And
Hell yeah!
this might, yeah, this is gonna be a laundry disagreement or understanding
Yeah,
episode, I
I
think.
was like,
Yeah.
honestly, when you told me you were kind of a on it, uh,
Yeah.
I was like, oh no, I don't want this to be a debate episode.
No,
But,
we want. It doesn't have to be the Joker. It doesn't have
it
to be
doesn't
like
have to be
the
like the Joker
Joker of
episode.
this.
Well, because I think
Yeah,
we can all agree that you at the
that I'm awesome.
because you because of what happened after the Joker episode that we can agree that you won. Uh, we can confidently
That's
say that.
that's right. That's right.
But yeah, the Amazing Digital Circus,
hmm
9 episode web series created by trans internet creator Gooseworks, starring a bunch
Is
of
she known
people.
for anything else?
Uh,
I wasn't familiar with her before this.
I wasn't either. I don't really know. I think she's done like other animation stuff. I don't really know her work outside of this, but
Okay, good to know.
I just know her kind of within this context. Uh,
Mm.
but yeah, the show came out. I want to say 2023. I was
Oh
forgetting
my
if it
God, I
was.
didn't realize it was that long ago. Wow,
Yeah, so the pilot came out in 2023, and it was like a smash hit. Uh,
I
like
didn't even know that.
oh
Okay,
yeah, no, it
wow,
like quickly. I think like within a few days, it had 100 million views.
holy! I was like completely blind to this corner of the internet. Wow.
Yeah, and now the show is 9 episodes. There was like a few months wait between each episode because just that's just the release strategy, and it's like indie animation. Imagine is a lot different than making like a network TV
They
show.
they have a Pomni meal at Carl's Jr.
Do they
with
actually?
transgender and gay fries.
Family meal. Oh,
Uh,
oh, oh! Marcy said that. That's not, that that doesn't surprise me.
That's awesome.
Uh,
Yeah. So how did you first hear about the show like when it blew up with the pilot? Because we were saying before the show like I had basically not heard of this show at all before you talked to me about it. Like or
which
only barely like heard about it.
I I knew the show was being made. I think some of my
hmm
friends were talking about it.
Yeah.
And then the pilot came out, and I watched that when it came out, and I liked it. I thought it
Nice.
was fun. And then around the time episode 6 came out is when I finally like caught up. Uh,
Mm.
and now that the series is over, uh, I can confidently say it's like become a really meaningful work for me. Uh,
hmm
and like especially within just like context of like my recent life and stuff. Uh, I I really love this show, but I understand I understand that you don't.
Oh man, I feel bad.
No,
Yeah.
I wish you were on this
Uh,
episode too, Azzy, so we could gang up on Lars.
yeah. Um, no, but yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess I'll just go out in the gate and say like the show never clicked with me. I had not heard of it almost at all. I'd seen the character designs. The first time I actually found out the name of the show was when they came to Fortnite. Like dead serious.
Wait,
Like
you
that
didn't
is when I was
really? That's like
or
impressive to
or
me.
when you yeah, or when you told me about it, I don't even. I think the Fortnite announcement was when I made the connection between the characters and the name of the show. Like I
Okay.
had heard both of them like separately in like random context, and it just kind of like never. Yeah, but
I
so
think
I
I
and I.
briefly mentioned it on like one of our like
Mhm,
media recap episodes because
yeah.
I was just like, "Oh, I watched this. It was good."
Mm,
And I think that was
yeah.
like the extent of my thoughts at the time.
Yeah.
And I think you were just like, "I think I've heard of that."
Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly it. Yeah. Uh. Yeah, so that was the extent of my knowledge, and then you told me about it, and you told me that we should do a show about it, and then did the finale come out before? before or after the Fortnite announcement? I don't remember, but I
It came out
remember.
before.
Okay, yeah, because I remember the finale discourse, like just seeing that there was discourse or people commenting on the discourse, and I was just like so outside of the loop that I was just like, okay, buddy. I'll be honest, um, I like discourse, so that's like the part that intrigued me the most, is I like
Yeah.
having opinions on things.
Oh, I just want to
Uh,
mention this before I forget. Uh, okay, this is gonna seem unrelated, but do you know who the Autark of Flame is? Do you remember that YouTube creator?
Autark of Flame. I don't know.
Okay, then this might not mean anything to you.
That
Uh,
was like that felt like three random words.
okay,
Autark of Flame.
basically he was like early 2010s like countdown YouTuber. Uh,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
he voices Kane.
Okay. Oh, okay. Interesting. I
Yeah,
didn't know that.
and I was when I figured that out, I was like, what the fuck? I was like, what?
I I
It was-
I figured there were like more YouTubers voicing people when I heard what's his name? Zach, Psychic Pebbles,
yeah,
Smiling Friends, man, in one of them. I'm like, oh, I bet there's other YouTubers in this shit. And then I found out the guy from Gaming Grumps,
oh,
Gaming
Aaron Hansen, he
Grumplies.
voices
Yeah, I was in one
Kaufmo.
of them. Yeah. So
Uh,
yeah, that
Kaufmo's a funny
tracks.
character because he's kind of just there.
Yeah.
Uh, but no, I like honestly like regardless of our disagreements about this, I just want to say like I am thank you for like watching the show and giving it a chance. I
Anything for my Laundry Nation.
hell yeah. And I am I'm thankful. I'm thankful in general
You're
for
welcome.
things.
You're welcome.
Uh
Now I'm gonna make you read all of Chainsaw Man.
yeah, I need to read all
It's
that.
my turn now.
I watched the show.
Yeah, that's true. No, I feel like I owe you one at least. I feel like I've made you watch a lot of shit, so
Yeah, I
it's only
mean,
fair.
it's only fair. Uh
Hmm.
but I guess briefly we could talk about like the first 8 episodes. This was kind of my plan,
Yeah.
and then go more into the finale because the finale is where it gets really interesting for me and where it starts to become really like more
Hmm.
meaningful for me. But uh, I know from what you told me that you liked the finale the most,
Yes.
which
It's like so funny to me. Every other opinion I've read or seen has been like completely opposite or different. Mine, like I've yet to find a single not to like act like I'm so awesome or special, but I just like I feel like being so insulated from this fandom has made me uh like create a new way of seeing this series that like I don't know, everyone else is just it feels like there's like camps on like Letterboxd and Twitter, and it's like you're in one of the groups and I didn't even know that they existed till after I'd already finished it, you
yeah,
know?
and it's just like ironically, I think a lot of like the kind of backlash from the finale, I think comes from a lot of people being so like fandom brained.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, and we'll get into that. But do you have any like favorite episodes from the first date or ones that like stand out to you at all?
um uh out of all of them, the one that stand honestly, maybe you talk about them first. Like I have a few in my mind that I can think of, but if you talk about them more, it'll like jog my memory because I watched them all in one sitting. It was like hard for me to kind of distinguish like one from another, if that
Okay,
makes
yeah.
sense.
Uh,
But
I before
yeah,
we
I have
do
a
that,
few in
actually,
mind, but you
we
go
should
first.
we should
Yeah.
talk about the characters first because I feel like that might
Oh,
like.
sure.
So what do you think of Pomni?
A little annoying.
A little annoying.
Yeah, a little bit.
I love
I okay,
Pomni.
let me say this. Let me say this. My one of my least favorite aspects of this series is like when they do stutter dialogue or like stutter
I think
talking.
I know what you
Do you get
mean.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And like she and Ragatha are like two of the like biggest culprits of that way of talking. And so they kind of got on my nerves in that sense. Um as a character she's chill. Like I think she's a reasonable point of view character. Um I didn't like I don't know. I didn't feel strongly about her one way or another, but like she's a chill protagonist, I think, is
Yeah.
my take. Yeah.
Uh, what about Ragatha?
Ragatha, I actually bordered on disliking.
Okay.
Um, just because I didn't feel like there was a whole lot of substance to her character personally. Like she's nice, like to Pomni, and for that reason she's chill, but I never felt like there was a real like core to her character or like anything like driving her, if that made sense. I feel like she didn't get like a point of view episode, if that makes sense. Like I feel like a lot
I
of characters got like a POV episode. I feel like she didn't get one.
I would say like honestly, probably my biggest complaint with the show is that I
Hmm.
feel the same way, but about a different character, which is Zubul. I think
Yeah, I agree.
Zubul, I think could have used more development. I think Zubul is like, I like Zubul, and I like kind of like I kind of like because Zubul's non-binary. I don't know. I don't even know if you got that from the show.
Oh, no, I didn't get that. Okay, interesting.
But that's kind
Yeah.
of like that's kind of where like they like hate their body and like but like kind of like the
Hmm.
metaphor of just like changing pieces and they can never find one
I
that they're
think I picked
satisfied
up
with.
on that. Yeah, I think that that makes sense. I didn't make the connection that they're non-binary, but those themes and like the transgender experience, I think that clocked for me at some point.
Yeah,
I
and
mean that's a commonality between all characters though, right? I mean like being stuck in a body that they didn't choose kind of thing.
yeah, but I feel like for some it's like uh
Hmm.
more of a struggle than for others.
Yeah,
Uh,
for sure.
Also, I think Zubul is good as like kind of a partner for Gangle. Who I really like
Mm.
Gangle. Gangle, I think, is has some good development in the show.
I like Gangle. I like Gangle. I like Zubul too. Honestly, okay, and I agree with your point that Zubul did not get like a big development episode or like a POV episode. I kind of didn't mind as much with them because they weren't like I feel like I could get them more, if that makes sense. Like I
Yeah,
didn't need a whole lot of explanation because I'm like, yeah, you're pissed off and in a wacky world. I get it. Um, I feel like yeah, I feel like Gangle I liked, and I liked her episode where she had some development with
the
I
fast
like the
food.
fast food episode. That
Okay,
might be my favorite one. That might
okay,
be my favorite one.
that's a good take. I really like that episode. Uh,
Yeah,
I
it felt
I
like it had the most like structure out of all the episodes.
I don't know. I think it's fun that they just like have this concept of like oh they like can do all these like they can go on all these like adventures and stuff and they can get like outlandish with them. They were just like let's do an episode uh where they're working at a fast food restaurant. I think that's fun and like I
Yeah,
think
I thought it was cool.
and the episode I think just is like I like how it develops Gangle and uh how like I like the humor a lot in that episode. I think there's a lot of like really funny moments.
Yeah, I like that one.
That's one thing
Yeah, and I
I
feel
was
like
curious about is what did you like? Did
mhm,
you what did you think of like the humor in the show?
dead ass, I did not laugh a single time. That
Damn,
I
bro.
am sorry to say
Not
that.
even a
I'm sorry to
disappearing
say
guy.
that.
Not even a disappearing guy.
Who's disappearing guy? What was that?
In like episode 5, the guy who like shows up like multiple times and he's like, and then he disappears.
Yeah, no, that didn't.
No,
Yeah,
I,
no.
I I just mentioned that because I saw a video. I saw a video that was like British guy laughs at disappearing men for 10 minutes. and it's just this like
Okay.
it's just a streamer like watching
Yeah.
the three scenes, and like he's just like dying, and like one of the like on the thumbnail it says like there's no way someone is laughing this hard at disappearing man. Uh,
That's funny.
I guess that's
No,
a
yeah,
disconnect.
I think
There's a
that's
disconnect
probably
there.
maybe the biggest thing that made it hard for me to like click with the series is that I just don't think that I was on the same wavelength as the humor. So that, and it is like kind of a comedy series, right? So I feel like that's probably where most of my my problems lie. I was saying this before the show, where like I have criticisms or things that I thought of that I didn't like about the series. Um, but I feel like probably if the humor landed for me, like I wouldn't care that much, or like it wouldn't
Yeah.
be a big thing for me.
Uh, yeah, no, and I think the show is really funny. I think that
Mm,
so I think it just boils down to like I guess in this instance we just like differ, and I think that's gonna be a
hmm
lot of this episode where it's just gonna be kind of like we disagree, and it's not really like uh you know what I mean,
Well,
but
I'd like
like
to hear what you like about it, and I'll tell you like why some stuff didn't click for me and some things that like stood out that I didn't like. I haven't told you stuff that I do like yet. Well, I've said a little bit. Like I like Gangle. I feel like one thing like okay, what I like about the series are the things that like made me enjoy it were like character moments and character development and like
yeah.
when I felt like I understood a character kind of thing. And like I felt like I mean, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves here, but like the season finale was like the one that actually did that the most. Like
Okay, so
had a character thing going on. And for that, but other episodes did, but I just feel like it was more sparse in the first 8, you know?
yeah, and we're gonna get more into it when talking about the finale, but like a lot of people were not happy with the finale because it was so character focused, which is like weird.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah,
because
that's
yeah.
that's exactly yeah.
So and I'm just like that's crazy, but no, I know
That's
you.
why I
You
felt
also
like I'm like I don't know if I was like I felt like I was watching the series wrong because I just like seeing some of the takes that I saw. I'm like what is with my brain that I like I cannot fathom having this take after watching that series. I don't know
yeah
why.
no.
Uh,
Uh,
yeah,
I I know you said you liked Kinger. Uh,
yeah, Kinger again for kind of the same reason. It's like I feel like Kinger. I mean, like again, I didn't really like his like being crazy bit. Like most of the time, I didn't think it was funny. But like when he was like in his dark mode and he was like talking and like had lore, I was like, okay, go off. Like we like some lore. That was fun. And yeah, he came in clutch in episode 8. That was epic.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I like him um, for that reason, I would say.
Uh, and what do you think of Kane?
Kane, almost completely indifferent.
Okay,
Uh,
interesting.
I mean,
Kane is
yeah,
like one of my favorite characters.
he evil though, right?
No,
I mean,
I
like
mean,
I thought he's bad. Like I mean, not to
well,
make it so like black and white, but like he's like the like Squid Game master in this sense, right?
no, I mean like,
But he's silly, I guess. He makes
I,
jokes.
no, I think just like, uh, it's the idea of like, how do I explain this? I think what was interesting is that the voice actor for Kane,
Mm-hmm.
Alex Roach, I always forget how to pronounce his last name, but
Mm-hmm.
he said that he channeled like a lot of his experiences like uh being like autistic as a kid. Uh,
Mm.
and I think he said it. He kind of explained it as like the idea of people telling you that you're doing something wrong and not understanding why.
Mm.
And I think that does show, and like near the end, I just think Kane has like an
Mm-hmm.
interesting arc. I like kind of like
Yeah, I definitely wasn't expecting him to have a arc, which I guess was like kind of a pleasant surprise in the finale. Like at first I was like kind of like uh resistant to the idea, but over time I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. And they kind of foreshadowed it with that one like scene with like the blue dot and the red dot. I don't remember
Yeah,
what episode that was in, but I thought that was cool. I thought that was a good like closing the circle thing with that.
yeah.
Um yeah, I can see that. I don't know, I just kind of thought like I think again this gets back to one of those things where like if I thought he was funny, I'd probably like him more. But since I feel like I'm maybe just watching this in like a literal plot driven way, I'm like, he's the evil bad guy. uh
Oh,
but he's silly, so for that reason I'm like it's yeah, I don't know.
interesting. The one I'm most curious about, and we haven't really talked
Yeah.
about this because when you were watching it, I asked you who
Hmm.
your favorite character was, and you were like, I like Gangle. Yeah, I think you said like I like Ganger or whatever her name is, or something like that. No,
Yeah. Yeah.
then you said Jack's low key pissing me off or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. I said he
And then
PMO like crazy. Yeah.
before we talk about how you feel about him, before we talk
Hmm.
about like how you felt about him earlier,
Hmm.
uh, or her, uh,
Hmm.
by the way, Gooseworks said that like either she, her, or he, him uh, is fine for Jax. I think I'm gonna try to for episodes 1 through 8 refer to them as he, him, and for like post finale she, her, and I'm probably gonna mess that up, but whatever. Uh, uh, do you after watching the finale, do you like have like any like newfound appreciation for Jax as a character?
Newfound appreciation, I wouldn't necessarily put it that way, but I definitely like Jax a lot more after the finale. Like,
Okay,
I still stand by like a lot of the points throughout the series. Jax was like just kind of an annoying and like at some points like and not just annoying like in the like I am like the instigator who does bad things kind of way. But I think I told you what I like said something about it. I'm trying
you
to forget
mentioned
what it
like
is.
the scene in the gun episode.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
mean I think yeah. So it's like I think, and this is kind of a running theme with some things I didn't like about the series is like I did feel like there were points where like characters said their feelings more so than like acted them out, if that makes sense. And I feel
Okay.
like there were moments where Jax was like, "Yeah, I just freaking like hurting people because it makes me happy." And it's like I know you like with the context of the finale, I feel like there's like kind of a meta aspect where that's like not true and they're just kind of saying that to convince themselves kind of thing. But like I just think like in the moment like it just made for like kind of like boring characterization or like stupid like being pointlessly being annoying characterization. Um I think the context and like background that you get later on definitely makes like makes it more interesting and like multi-dimensional, and I appreciate that aspect. Um would I say I like Jax? Maybe. Like overall, maybe, but like I didn't like most appearances, especially episodes 1 through 8. I was just kind of like, this shit again. It like it was. I think at times it was a little bit tiresome for me with the like hater energy and the being like, yeah, I'm not your freaking friend, bitch. Like,
I think that's
relax.
interesting because for the first few episodes, my favorite character was Pomni. But
Mm,
uh, starting I think around like episode 4, I would say Jack's like morphed into my favorite character. Uh, I
interesting.
really
What? Mm,
I think I don't know I really liked following Jax as a character because I was just kind of like something's up here, and I was
mm-hmm.
kind of just like really invested in figuring it out, and it was just kind of like this interesting thing. I know you mentioned the scene in episode 6, the fight between him and Pomni. Uh,
Yeah,
I I can see where your like complaints coming in. It's kind of like it could come off as a bit like edge lord, I guess you could put it maybe.
yeah.
But at the same
Mm-hmm.
time, that's like one of my favorite scenes in the show. I
Interesting. Okay, yeah.
because one, I just think it's like I think the show is really well animated is one thing. Uh,
Okay, that's something I haven't said yet. Easily the best aspect of the show to me is the animation is like incredible. I thought the
yeah,
animation was really good.
and
Yeah.
uh, and like it gets better throughout the series,
Yeah.
which
No,
like if you go back and look at the pilot, it honestly looks kind of rough compared to like
I thought even the pilot was good when I
the
first started
pilot. The
watching it.
pilot
Like
looks
I
good, but
noticed, yeah. Like from the start, I'm like, damn, this looks good. Like it's animated really clean, I think.
yeah, but that that episode, I think a lot of the like animation, I think really like elevates that like it's more of the physical aspects of them like literally fighting, but also just like
Mm.
I don't know. I love episode 6 because 6 I think is my favorite episode outside of
Which
uh
one was six? What
the
was it
gun
called?
episode.
Oh, that's the gun episode. Okay, yeah.
Uh, just because I think for like the first like 20 minutes, I think it's just like so fun. And I love seeing like the
Mm.
characters and like this kind of like, and I love the like kind of budding friendship between Pomni and Jax, and then just the way
Mm-hmm.
like it like broke that at the end. I
I
think was
see.
just like
Okay,
it just really hit for me.
I guess for me, this is like a total like wait, have you seen One Piece? I forget.
Some of it, not much.
Okay, there's like a scene I love using this GIF. There's like a scene in One Piece where Luffy and Blackbeard, a later antagonist, they both take a bite of a cherry pie and they simultaneously say one of them says, "This cherry pie is so good that I could die," and the other one says, "This cherry pie is so disgusting that I could die." Um, and I think that like episode 6 is like our cherry pie here. Because I guess to me, like the whole fight part, like when they fight, and I agree with you, like I thought it was cool that they were kind of like getting along and stuff. But I just felt like the fight was like it kind of came out of nowhere and was unnatural. And like again, I think the what do you call it? The context that you get later on in the series makes it like make sense more. But I guess like it just like nothing kind of like started the argument. Like it just felt like it came out of nowhere in my opinion. And like I know this is kind of like Jax's character that like he doesn't want anyone close to him kind of thing. Like like that much is clear to me and I know. But I guess like maybe it's because I've never met anyone like that, or I just haven't seen a character like that. It just felt like unnatural to me, and I didn't feel like the fight came as a consequence of things that happened in the episode. Like it to me, it just felt like it came because there needed to be like a conflict at the end of the episode. Like it just felt unnatural to me, you know?
That's understandable. I mean, I don't know. I just think like also just with Jax in general, I just like the kind of the chaos he brought throughout the series.
Mm.
I just thought it was really entertaining and like uh I think Jax throughout for the first 8 because a lot of people did not like Jax. Uh
Mm-hmm.
and that's also a complaint people had with the finale is that it focused too much on Jax.
I,
Which
yeah,
is
I
dumb
disagree.
because Jax is the most interesting character by I don't want to say by far, but like Jax is very good.
I, I like, sorry, what Hilda said. Lars, you can find those people on music rating websites. That's really funny. Sorry.
uh, but I kind of lost my train of thought. But uh, yeah, Jax. I just think Jax was a really like especially by the end.
Hmm.
I think it really like shows just how like uh well developed and like interesting he was. Uh,
I definitely think out of all the characters in the series, like he is the most fully fleshed out character.
mhm.
Like definitely, in my opinion.
Well, that's good. Uh, I guess like I guess we can kind of get into the finale now, unless you have any other thoughts. Kind of.
Uh, Okay, minor. This is like a nitpick, and I'm sorry to do this. I like feel so bad for not liking the show. I just gotta
No,
say that one
it's
more
okay.
time.
It's
But
okay.
I one thing that did stick out to me like throughout the series, and I think this was even kind of true for the finale, that like it just like took me out randomly. I thought the dialogue was awkward a lot of times. Like just like the words and sentences they said. Like there were a few moments where I felt like they could have, and this again is like a annoying nitpick, but like it felt like it could have been rewritten, like because they just sounded a little bit unnatural. Like I think one thing that like cropped up a bunch of times randomly for me was like that one or two characters kept saying the phrase like in regard to, like I like that is just something that like I don't say that much, but like it was like clashing for me because it's such like a goofy and like kind of like simple vibe, and people and like like some characters just kept saying like in regard to, and I don't know why that like ticked me off, or I was like, why did they say that? Um, but yeah, that was like one thing in the series that I noticed, that like yeah, it kind of like took me out a little bit.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I think the dialogue has moments where it's a little awkward, but I think
Mhm.
I think it's just one of those things where it didn't really bother me. Like I don't know, like it's
Yeah, no, that is 100% one of those things that I think if I had enjoyed the comedy and the show was clicking with me in other ways, it like wouldn't have stuck out at all.
yeah, I get what you're saying. Uh, but yeah, getting into the finale, uh, this is so the finale basic. Um, it's now confirmed by Gooseworks, but I feel like the finale heavily implies that
Hmm.
Jackson's trans or has like gender dysphoria and stuff like
Wait, you
that.
said it's not confirmed by
It, it,
Gooseworks?
it is. It is.
Okay, okay.
Uh, and and wait, let me read what Azzy said. So much of the show is about
Yeah.
good-natured people each other. I agree with that. Yeah. I yeah, I think that's kind
Yeah.
of what I was saying is that Jax is like kind of what brings like kind of like drives a wedge between people and brings like the chaos to the show that I think makes it like more entertaining throughout the first like 8 episodes, but then you like kind of figure out what's really going on, and then it just
Hmm.
makes the whole thing more like tragic. Uh,
Mm.
but yeah, Jax abstracts in the last episode, and we get
Yeah.
uh, like basically a huge like backstory dump of like
Hmm.
everything about like everything that happened like pre like Pomni showing up, and
Yeah.
I think I think the fact that Jax is trans and how they handled it is
Hmm.
what made this show connect with me so much. Because I think I don't remember if it was like early in the episode or before we were talking, but you compared it to I Saw the TV Glow, and I'm really glad
Yeah,
you
that
did
was
because
before the episode. Yeah.
uh, I, as much as I love that movie and we did an episode on that one, and
Hmm.
I think that didn't connect with me as much as this because I saw this like a few days before I took my first like injection shot. And I think
Mm.
basically based on the way it handles showcasing that like okay, so you have Jax who
Hmm.
you figure out at the finale that they're brain scans and they can't leave. But
Yeah.
at the same time their real life selves are out there and living their lives.
Can we pause on this real quick, just on that plot point? And I don't know if this is my fault, but I feel like they buried the lead on that point,
What do you
like
mean?
on the revelation. Like I feel like they buried the lead in the sense that like the way it was revealed, I felt like was not super straightforward.
I
I
actually
don't know if
agree.
this is
I
my
agree with
fault,
this.
but it was like one sentence that Kinger said, and it wasn't like direct. Like he was like, "Yes," and there was something about brain scans, and then everyone's like, "Oh my God!" I knew the whole time, but and like yeah, I could, figure it out, but I feel like I kind of expected that would be like kind of revealed in a more like direct fashion or something. Like it wasn't bad. I just like it
I get
just yeah, I
no,
just felt like it was handled in a weird way.
I think I agree with this in some senses. I think like
Hmm.
the show kind of says like their brain scans and kind of expects the viewer to understand what that implies.
Yeah.
And I
I mean,
think like
I played the game Soma. I don't know if you've played that game, but
there's been a
it
lot
deals with similar
people
concepts.
people. I think this was a popular fan theory before the show came out, and
Hmm.
I think it was called the Soma theory. Uh,
Oh my God.
yeah,
I'm so locked
uh,
in.
yeah. But so that ended up being true. But I think the fact that like I, s- I think the show it mostly feels weird because it's so much mostly a show for kids. Uh,
Yeah, no, I think I get that. Like I think if it was a different show that revealed it in that way, I would it wouldn't have like stood out to me so much. But I think specifically because it was this show and it was revealed in that way, it was like I thought I
yeah,
missed something for a second.
yeah.
Like I
That's
don't
like
know.
an interesting point. Yeah, but I think like made it so meaningful to me is that it really I figured out through watching it that like because even like through starting my transition and coming out, I had all these thoughts in my head that I was like, am I like fucking up here? Am I like doing something I'm gonna like really regret doing? Am I like, but like I saw this, and this is like the thing that made me realize like I made the right decision. Uh,
Mm,
and I think it's just because uh, you see what happens when Jax like doesn't accept himself and like pushes
mhm,
people away and further like rejects everyone around him, and he breaks down and, as the show would call it, abstracts. But
mhm,
you see the real life version of Jax as someone who is beginning to accept themselves more and like is making friends and is getting a stable job and like living a better life. And I
mhm,
think that's what makes it so powerful is that it could have like you get like the tragic story and like you figure out at the end, oh, but the real version of her is like doing well. And obviously there's I think the post is deleted, but Gooseworks made a post after the finale came out that when designing Leroy is Jax's real life name,
mm.
when she said when designing Leroy's wardrobe, I assumed that more people knew what a boy motor was, and I think that's kind of because I was talking with my
Yeah.
friend about it after, and I was like, and we were like, uh, obviously, like she hasn't figured out that she's trans yet in real life, but like it's still like kind of like a we can tell thing,
Mm,
uh, and I don't know, it's just like I I think like this is one of the complaints that people have about the finale that actually like genuinely pissed me off is that people are like, oh, of course they made like the bad person in the show trans, and like, and that's just like I was thinking about how I would like word this, and I thought, and I because we've let me read this. Hold on, wait, let me read this. Yeah, let me like on the whole thing. I think the people
Loki,
actually
we
think.
can take a call. Like Loki, I wouldn't mind having you join last minute.
Honestly, yeah,
Uh, yeah, we can have people call in.
but
A
yeah,
call in
sure.
from Azzy.
Uh,
I
yeah, if
can't.
they're down. Uh,
Yeah.
but the way I thought about like wording it was kind of like this the
Mm.
idea of like the modern familyification of gay representation in media. Do you
The like the show Modern Family.
yeah, and
Yeah.
and the way I would describe that is like this idea of like, oh, LGBT representation in media has to be this like kind of boring sanitized version of what being an
Mm.
LGBT person is like.
I,
and
yeah,
and
like uncomplicated.
yeah, and
Right.
like
Yeah.
the sad reality of it is that for a lot, if not most, people who are LGBT, the experience is often really hard and often ugly and sad. And
Mm.
I think like when we when if we try to like deny that, like I think just like we're not gonna uh if we're I like that. I like that. But no, we're not gonna get anywhere. Like
Yeah.
we gotta like acknowledge these things uh in like the art that we make about like LGBT people. And also just like aside, I I saw a lot of people call Jax an abuser. I think we gotta like
Okay.
we gotta like we gotta come up with like new terms
This
sometimes.
is like so funny. I feel like I'm like getting a glimpse into like a whole different like society. I'm getting like culture shock because I've just like this kind of discourse like I could
And this
like
is
I don't know. I couldn't imagine this
I
this
yeah, and that's
discourse,
the thing is I
Like
was watching it.
yeah.
I was watching it with a friend of the show, Leo. I showed him the show, and when we
Mm.
finished the finale, he literally like turned to me and was like, "Why did people like that?" and I was like, and I was like, I don't, because like I think like to like people who like aren't like so like online or like fandom brained or like have these. I feel like a lot of these. To be fair, I feel like a lot of these people are like 15. Uh,
Mm.
like just like people who have these kind of complaints. At least I hope
Yeah.
that's the case. Uh, because like if like adults are saying stuff like this, that kind of makes me sad. But like like if we're calling Jackson an abuser, like we can't just call a character who's like mean an abuser. And
Like
also he's like a cartoon rabbit.
genuinely
I don't know. It's just
uh
like
no, okay. I was making these comparisons before. And like I feel like fandom is such a big part of this series that I'm like missing out on, which is like what makes it like fun for me to hear about this stuff. Because like there's a lot of other series where I'm like so tapped into the fandom that it like completely distorts my like viewing of the series. Two things I mentioned before the show. I don't think I've talked about it yet, but uh Chainsaw Man and Deltarune. I think they don't have the same fandom experience. Like Chainsaw Man, for me, the fandom experience was mostly negative. I think like with most shonen manga, like a lot of people, every time a new chapter comes out, they're like, "This one sucks. The art's gotten so bad." Like it doesn't matter what series it is. There's always people who are like being negative and like just
yeah.
like pissed off or whatever. Um, and like this is like a like kind of half baked thought, but part of me thinks that this only happens to people who have read all of the series and then are now stuck on the weekly basis. And because they have to wait so long for each chapter, they're like pissed off because they had to wait 1 week and it wasn't like the best chapter in the world or whatever. So that's something I've noticed a lot.
Uh,
Deltarune, on the other hand, I
real
feel like,
quick,
oh,
I
sorry, go
just want
ahead.
to say, Azzy,
Yeah.
that sounds good. Uh, we'll have you join in near the end of the episode if you want.
Yeah, yeah, we can do a call in a little bit. But yeah, I'm totally down to have you join. Um, yeah, I think like I think in Deltarune's case, it was like more fun. Like it's like fun brain rot kind of thing, and like mostly like a positive. Wait, what?
Oh, Digital
To learn
Circus.
this really?
It has
I did not know that.
yeah, it has a
That's interesting.
manga.
That's cool. Uh, But yeah, I think yeah, Deltarune is like much more positive. Like I feel like my experience with the fandom is like stupid theories that do slightly piss me off, but it's like funny, like reading all the like crazy theories. And then two on the other side is like really cool art and like songs and like stuff that's made for the series, especially when new chapters come out that make it really fun. And one thing that I think is interesting, and this is tying back a little bit to the like Soma theory or whatever you're calling it, uh, I wonder if, like, I feel like in Deltarune there are certain things in the series that are made like as references to things for the fandom specifically, and I wonder if that the way that it was revealed was in a way such that like kind of expecting people who had already been speculating about this and stuff, like you didn't need to explain it as much because people were already had that as like a thought. So it's
That
like the minute they mention it, it's like, oh, people already get it. But to people who are outside of the fandom and like didn't hear any of that discourse or anything, like it's a little bit less immediately obvious what they're saying, you
I get
know?
what you're saying, and yeah, I'm gonna get into the theory people because that is another complaint people had is that like uh it didn't like answer uh this is something I'm going to mention, Azzy, is that okay, people should have realized from episode 7, which is the one with like the fake out where it's like
Yeah,
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 people should have realized from that episode that not all your questions are going to be answered because like
yeah,
because like it's just like it's not a show interested in doing that and then like explaining like every little thing about like oh what did
yeah.
CNA the company do or like what's like the backstory behind all this, how did they put on the headset, like it's not a show.
This is like the matte patification of media.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, but
I
like
think that's so funny that there were theory people for this
but
series.
like people were mad that the show didn't answer those things, and I'm like my god, like what like I don't know. Like I feel like what people wanted out of this show
Hmm.
would have been a much more boring show.
Yeah, definitely.
And like I'm so glad Gooseworks ended up like making the show the way she did and like ending it the way she did. Just because like
Hmm.
I think even though like now a lot of people like have been pushing against it, like I think like over time I think it's just gonna look like even better. I think in like the future, I think Digital Circus is going to be looked at as like I think it's going to be looked at as a really like foundational piece of like Gen Z media in particular. And when I was talking to Leo, I think like about it like the other day we were talking about it and he said like the show feels like very like Gen Z in a way that like it feels like only like our generation could really tell this story. And
Definitely.
I don't entirely know how to articulate that uh
I
further.
mean, one thing I'll say that's just like undeniably true about that aspect, like it is a very online series. Like I feel like
Yeah,
there are references and things that happen in it that you would only get if you're someone who's like relatively online person, you know?
yeah, and I think a lot of like the humor, and I think the studio glitch like start has like its
Hmm.
roots in like Source Filmmaker and Gmod stuff, the studio behind the show. And I think some of that
Hmm.
humor is like in the show too. I think there's like some like uh
There, there's definitely some Gmod humor, and low key, that is the humor that like to me did not hit the most because I did
fair.
have that like that Gmod vibe. Like I loved the Source Filmmaker like YouTube poop type stuff, but like I feel like I'm in a stage now where like you know when something is funny and then at first it's like really funny, but then when you get older, like because you thought it was funny so recently, but you were younger, you now think it's like extra bad or like extra not funny. I feel like that's where that kind of humor has gotten to me. Uh, oh wow, sorry. I'm trying to catch up on the chat here.
Yeah, Bubble. I was gonna mention Bubble. Bubble is So you didn't find Bubble funny?
Dude, I Bubble, the least funny character on the
Really?
show. I'm so sorry. Yeah. Every
Bubble?
time the Bubble spoke, I was like, it was not funny to me. That was the least funny person.
That's so
Yeah, to me. I'm
this
so sorry.
this
I
is
don't know
like
what to tell you.
this is so interesting. Like I feel like
Yeah.
I've never felt as much of like a disconnect. I don't and
Yeah.
I don't mean this like in a bad way. I want to make that clear.
Yeah.
I've never felt like more disconnected with you in terms of an opinion
Uh-huh.
because
Yeah.
just like everything that whenever you bring up something that you didn't like about the show, I'm just like, oh, I was like a big fan of that aspect of it, or like, and like
Dude,
it's just
it's the Luffy Blackbeard cherry pie.
yeah,
Like that is what this is.
and
Uh oh
and I
my
know
God. Sorry, everyone hates me now.
no we Lars, no, we love you.
Yeah,
Uh,
thank you.
I feel like honestly, I feel like I have not been articulating myself as well as I would have liked in this episode. Uh, it's kind of been a long day at work. Uh,
Yeah,
so
same.
I'm kind of just like uh,
I feel like I'm
a
with you for the most part. I don't think there's anything that I don't get what you're saying at least.
but no, I think just like the main thing is that like the I just think how the show handled Jax being trans, or like how the show like hinted at it, uh,
Hmm.
is uh, don't mind Marcy, they just kind of say stuff like that.
No, that's funny. I think it's
uh,
funny.
no, yeah, but
Yeah, sorry, small aside, that reminds me, one of the best panels is gonna be adapted in the latest Chainsaw Man season. There's a panel of Denji where he goes, "Why am I going into the crucifix position?" And then he like starts like doing like this. I just want to throw that out there.
I'm excited for the new Chainsaw Man.
Yeah, oh, it's
Uh,
gonna be so peak, so peak.
but I just think it like handled it in a way that was really meaningful to me, and like I feel like what a lot of people uh saw in like I saw the TV glow is what I saw in this,
Hmm.
and
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
I think that's like that just like what's brought it to like a show that I really liked into something that's like has like personal significance to me, and
Mm.
also uh I uh as he mentioned this after we watched the finale, uh that one of the things that Gooseworks said, because Gooseworks was like pretty active answering like people's questions on Tumblr for a while,
Mm.
and one of the questions that she got was, if you want people to get one takeaway from the show, what would it be? And I think she said something. I'm paraphrasing a bit. I don't remember the exact wording, but it's something along the lines of, "There is meaning to be found in living a stagnant life."
Mm.
And I think that's beautiful. I think that's like a really like I think that's just like a nice message, you know, like I feel like people can be caught up in like how mundane life can get, and like uh and all that, and like just like, you know, this show where they're like trapped in a scenario they can't get out, and they're kind of like they're all they've got, and they learning to like really like make the best of what they got. And I think it's just like I think the way the show handles it, I think is really beautiful, and I think in the end, like ended up being very powerful for me when they were like, uh, and just like seeing how the people, all the characters like are in real life, and seeing like how they're like
Hmm.
thriving in their own like personal ways is just like was so meaningful. I did cry when I was watching it. Specifically, I don't know exactly why this got me in particular, but like when I was watching the them reveal all like who they're all in real life,
Hmm.
Gangles is the one that like made me like really start to tear up. I don't know. Just
She
Something
had
about
like she had character development. I feel like because it was like she had her thing that was talked about before that she wanted to do something, but then she gave up on it. But then her real life, like she self-actualized or like
yeah.
attained the thing that she wanted. So that makes like perfect sense to me.
I think it's also because like I feel like Gangle is like the most representative of people I know in like online and in real life. I feel like
Hmm.
I know people like Gangle, and I think
Yeah,
that's like what made her connect with me like in that way. Uh,
interesting.
but yeah,
Do you want to cut to commercial while we hook up our call-in guest?
sure. Uh,
Okay.
Azzy, if you want to DM me on Discord, uh, or I can
Yeah,
just add you to.
make a. Can you add Ezzy
I
to
think I
this
could just.
chat?
Yeah, Azzy, are you good to join?
Okay, okay. We'll cut to commercial now, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Absolutely.
See.
Awesome.
By the way, y'all are unmuted. By the way,
Awesome.
wait, let me see this.
So real.
Yeah, this is yeah, this is that's accurate.
Oh, I didn't even notice the jacks hanging out in the back of your
Yeah,
room,
no,
Yeah.
I didn't.
Audrey.
That's kind of the elephant in the room here is that we got a little friend right here.
This is to show that you're unbiased.
Yeah, I'm completely unbiased as a Jax fan.
Yeah.
And so we're unmuted now. We're back on the show.
Hello.
We
Hi,
got a
everybody.
special guest, Azzy.
Hi.
Welcome back
I
to
literally
Welcome
another
just
back.
got
show.
back from work like a little bit ago.
Let's
Hell
go.
yeah.
I did not expect to be here, but they let me go early. So
This
That's
is
awesome. All the stars aligned.
the stars.
absolutely.
Okay. So I have some things to say.
Let's
This is
hear it.
not a refutation. This is just I want to articulate some things. So like so after seeing the finale and after seeing like the stuff around the finale, I was like I kind of want to make YouTube videos again. And so I have like sitting weighing on my chest like almost 10,000 words of a still not complete script. Some of it is still outlined. So at this point, like it's weighing on me so much, and like the whole aftermath, the whole like social aftermath of everything, like with the finale, just kind of wore on me in a way where I found it I found it difficult to like keep the motivation up. But like, you know, I still got it if I ever want to work. It's something to the effect of The Amazing Digital Circus is good, actually. Working title. Right. So like just to like, my relationship with the show. I remember when the pilot came out, because I had like several friends who were immediately like autism brained about it. I did not watch it. I didn't watch any of the show for a long time. By the time I did, I forget exactly when I watched it, but like I was in a delirious state. I had like a day off, and I was like, for some reason, I was like, I'm gonna watch all of this show for babies. This and it was up to like the beach episode was the most recent one at that point. So it was 7 episodes, and the 8th one was just about to come out. So that was the first one that I saw like as it came out. I watched through the whole thing in like kind of a delirious state, and I guess I enjoyed it enough to watch all of it, but like I didn't quite get it. I felt a little weird about it. It's it's amateurish in ways that like I'm kind of not used to seeing, you know. Like when Jax in like the 2nd episode says "I call shotgun" and then gets in the driver's seat, that's not usually the type of thing that I
also noticed that. I also noticed that. I gotta do that. Yeah.
I felt like I didn't feel nothing at the show, but I felt a strange disconnect. I felt like it was too sort of blunt. I felt like, you know, it took a lot of the subtext and made it into text, like, you know, in these like conversations and monologues and stuff, where it just kind of took a lot of the subtlety out of it. Like to give you, and also like I don't know anything about like indie animation scene where like this runs in. I don't know what a murder drone is. I don't know what a hell of a boss Hasbin Hotel is. You know,
I feel like I'm like completely like 100% agree with you so far. I feel like we're on the exact same page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I like to give you like an idea of the disconnect between me and like the typical fandom brand. Like, like the beach episode, that's a trap. That's a trap for people who have been theorizing about the show, and it turns it into, you know, the "I have no mouth and I must scream," you know, "I didn't give you a can opener," you know, moment for the show. I should have gotten a drink of water. It's fine.
Do it live.
We'll do it live.
We'll do it live.
On the laundry show. So like I was like, okay, I guess I don't regret watching that, but like, you know, it's not for me. This is for like the COVID kids. You know, this isn't for me necessarily. And like I kind of shelved it in my brain for like a day or like a couple days, but unfortunately there was a specific moment. It's a Ragatha moment in the 2nd episode. So it's near the beginning. So Pomni, like Ragatha goes to like, you know, be like, "Hey, good morning, Pomni." Pomni is extremely out of it. She just had a nightmare. She just had like a weird collision glitch. She's just completely out of it. And Ragatha is in like these, she's like, this helpless people pleaser, and she's doing these, these fawning submissive behaviors where it's like, don't worry about like, leaving me, to, be all glitched out and stuff last time. Like, I totally understand, you're all good. And like Pomni is just like not registering what she's saying at all. And she's just like, huh? And then Ragatha gets like this little pained expression on her face. And like she brushes it off, but like it's there for just a second. And like I know why that's there, because I've been there. I've done that. Like, I have apologized for someone without prompting, for the purpose of, like, I can't stop thinking about this thing and I want some closure on it. Can you please give me some closure on it? And then the person, for whatever reason, who I'm talking to, they can't give me that closure, and it would be weird and rude to keep pushing for it. So I just had to swallow it down, and that stuck with me. That felt like a weirdly subtle moment for like a show that I had been writing off as like too unsubtle. And like for the like for the most part, I feel like, you know, you can tell, if you look at like the flaws of the show, the strengths of the show, you can tell Gooseworks is like an amateur writer. She's never written anything of like this scale, of like this sort of big cast before, of this like ambition before. But she is a phenomenal director. Like,
yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, the visual storytelling in this show is really, really strong. And I think that was kind of my first way in. Like, okay, like some of my problems are kind of lessened by the fact that, like, yeah, maybe the stuff that they're saying out loud, you know, is not very subtle or not very, you know, deep. But like, there's always, like, in all of the episodes, there's always little moments like this that like are just very emotionally in tune with the characters, and that like create like a sense of richness beyond what the writing can achieve. And it's a very, like, I think Gooseworks has a very compassionate hand as a director. Like there's just a lot of interest in like how the characters feel, how they individually, like when something happens and there's like a group shot of like everybody reacting to the thing. Everybody always kind of reacts a little differently. Everybody kind of has their own little thing going on. And so like so that was kind of my first, that was sort of my first leg in, is that like I felt like, okay, you know, there is stuff to like chew on. There is stuff that like when I go back to like rewatch these episodes, I feel like I'm seeing new things, or like I'm feeling a sense of richness that I didn't expect to. And then I watched episode 8 when it came out, and I reacted like pretty viscerally strongly to it. I thought it was a great episode. And I was like, okay, fine, I'll go see the finale. And I did, with Audrey, and it was great, and it was phenomenal. I like not just the finale, but just like hanging out with Audrey. Thank you for that. Yeah, no, we had a great time. Thank you.
As he was like, when we finished, as he was like, so like, she was like, I think I remember, because I don't even know if you caught this, Lars, but there's like it's not even really hinted, like at the end there's a,
yes,
there's a, in the credits there's like there's basically Gangle and Zubul having sex behind a door.
Oh, I missed that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, it's almost a blink and you miss it thing. It's like the door is like shaking and there's like hearts coming out of it. And
in the theater, out loud, I was like, "I love you, Goose. Thank you, Gooseworks."
Yeah, and yeah, you were like, so like and I kind of felt this way too. We felt like vindicated that like, okay, yeah, we saw all these people like complaining.
I felt like I actually understood the show. I felt like I understood the priorities of the show. I felt like I understood this is not a show about lore. This is not a show about plot. This is a show about emotions and psychology and like people trying to live through in circumstances that are weird to live in. Again, this is like a COVID generation show, you know, for like it's made by like elder Gen Z people, but like I think that like it really, really resonates with like kids, you know.
Yeah.
Like this show has so many fans like who were not born like they do not know a world in which it's like it feels like a joke for somebody to suggest maybe Donald Trump will be president. You know, they have not seen the release of a new Rihanna album in their lifetimes. You know.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, so like I feel like I've already like kind of talked a bit, but I just want to like I have a sort of 3-pronged lens for the show that I've kind of already touched on. Yeah, so number one, Again, like it just kind of like how does the show say stuff? And I think it says it mostly through the direction, mostly through the visual storytelling, mostly through the sort of like again, like Gooseworks, she has a great eye, she's a great visual storyteller. She also just has a great eye for cartooning in general. And so like if you're looking for like what are the avenues of communication in the show that you're supposed to be paying attention to, I think that's most of it. So that's how it says stuff. Well, what is it saying? And what it's saying, number two, it's saying in Gooseworks' words, and Audrey mentioned this, it's saying there's meaning to be found in a stagnant life. And what that I think specifically means in relation to the show is that you see this group of people who have like various gaps in understanding. They can't understand each other, they can't understand themselves, and they slowly cross those gaps, with obviously Jax being kind of the person who does not want to understand or be understood, sort of final boss of like, and like what I think about that with like a stagnant life is that they're not defined, through great accomplishments, or through like any great upset to the way that they're living. It's like sort of making the most of what you have is kind of how I would phrase it. Like
Can I pause here just because there was something I wanted to say when Audrey mentioned this earlier.
Yes.
There is a book with a very similar theme that I love. It's called Stoner. Highly recommend it if you want.
Oh, cool! I've never even heard of this.
Yeah, Stoner.
Who's that?
By John Williams, I believe.
Okay.
Williams.
It is
not. Yeah, I assume not that
related. One. Yeah. But Stoner, it's not about weed. It's about the exact themes that you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's an amazing book. Highly recommend it. Really fast read. Really short, but amazing.
I appreciate it.
I was reminded of that when you talked about it earlier, and when you're mentioning these themes again, I just had to say that. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Like again, it's like kind of like like a making, like being able to work with what you have, especially like on an individual level. On an individual level, no individual person is going to save the world or improve the world, et cetera, et cetera. So like you work on yourself and you work with other people, and you sort of see the inherent worth, because like that's kind of what the brain scan reveal is that they're all gummy goo. They're all the gator from episode 2. Like it's that's why it's the second episode. It's like kind of setting out this idea of like it's not like it's not about these like arbitrary ideas of like what gives your life meaning. It's it's something that you have to work on yourself, and you have to work with other people. You have to find your meaning, and it's like, so why is it saying it? Number 3, because it's for kids. It's for kids on the internet, and they'll deny that because they kind of have to deny that, because if something is labeled for kids on YouTube, there's like a whole problems. And also, obviously, a lot of adults like the show, a lot of, Gen Z people like the show, me and Audrey like the show. Like, it's not just for, like, the Gen Alpha, COVID, kids, but I do think that, like, part of the show, and even part of the bluntness of the show, part of, like, the let's sit around and talk about our feelings sort of scenes that I kind of struggled with, like, on my first time through, I kind of think of them now as like it's older people, older artists, this older writer trying to give like a very, like, people who have had like this very traumatic wrench thrown into their development, like give them like as like sort of language to articulate some of their feelings, and so like in that way, I think a lot of the bluntness kind of it took on a different life for me, and so that's kind of a thing for the show. And also like just in general, like the online stuff, I think this is like a huge this is extremely like an online sort of show. I actually want to read something, if I can find it, from Esther Rosenfield's write-up of the show, if I can find it. Just a second here.
I think you sent this to me. I don't remember.
Yes.
I said something about like, you know, having like one hurdle this person had with like the show is having to take
Yes.
seriously.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. So this is a piece by Esther Rosenfield, great film critic, talking about who definitely not in the target demographic for the Amazing Digital Circus, but like who came around to liking a lot of it, and this is something that she wrote about, like sort of its sort of artistically what it's doing and like who it's speaking to. Quote. The Amazing Digital Circus faints at the Matrix or William Gibson style sci-fi existentialism, but it's really a show about what it's like to live online, not to just be addicted to your phone, but really live in there, for your closest relationships to be abstracted through layers of fandom references and imagery. One major hurdle I had when conceptualizing this piece was that it necessitated very seriously saying things like Zooble is non-binary and Gangle's suicide attempt. When I discussed this with my friend Carol Grant, she said that it felt true to the strange irony of Gen Z digital social life, that you may be trying to talk your friend down from a suicide attempt, while all the time you only know them by a goofy Discord username with a cartoon avatar. You're talking to your buddy Googox, whose avatar is the dog from Chainsaw Man, trying to get them to not swallow a bottle of pills. This is the interpersonal friction unique to modern life that the Amazing Digital Circus evokes with these silly designs and ridiculous names. It's about a demographic to whom the real self is irrelevant, increasingly irritatingly obligatory, and somehow less real than their digital personas. Unquote. I really like that.
Yeah,
I think that hits on a lot of like what is like artistically interesting about the show. And like sort of why it really caught on and like resonated like with people en masse in the way it did, and why I think that like even, you know, I think the show is sort of good enough and accomplishing something that is solid enough that it will outlive all of this discourse. You know, I think it has legs.
I agree.
That's all I have to say.
I think it's going to be one of those things where like a lot of people are going to view this as kind of like a formative piece of media for them.
I agree. I agree.
I could see that.
And I think this is going to be for a lot of people, you know, like the thing that makes them think like, oh, you can do that. Like you can do that with like a story or like with a cartoon.
It seems like, and I'm not the first to make this comparison, and I haven't even like read this, so this might be, but I feel like it's going to be like what like Homestuck was to our generation.
Oh, that's so true.
Yeah, like it's gonna be kind of
that is literally what Homestuck was to me. Oh no.
Yeah, that like basically hearing like how people talk about Homestuck to me is like, do you know what Homestuck is, Lars?
Yeah. I like Deltarune. Come on.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
You're not a fake fan.
I've never read Homestuck, but I just like have.
I haven't read it fully. I've read bits of it, but I'm more aware of its.
Homestuck is a hard pill to swallow. I like it, but it's a hard one. It's a hard one.
But like Homestuck, I just sort of like remember like early 2010s when that was like so big, and like how it was like, you know, this huge piece of media that people were like really connecting with, and it felt like very the way people were talking about it felt like it really like understood the generation that it was speaking to, and it was just like
Homestuck is literally also about online friends. It's like the characters in Homestuck are online friends.
Honestly, what Marcy said too. Undertale was kind of like that too.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Yeah, Undertale was mine. That was my thing.
Undertale was more because I actually played that when it came out.
I was a bit too old for Undertale to be that for me specifically, but it was. I mean, my name is Asriel. It's a whole thing. It still had an impact on me. It just had an impact on me like after I turned 18 instead of like when I was a teenager and I was really into Homestuck.
It was like one of the first pieces of media, and I think it was just the neutral ending that like made me cry, and I didn't like really I didn't like understand really why. It just like really like hit something like deep like emotionally for me, and I didn't really like understand at the time, and I guess I don't know, it just like I think it was kind of similar for Digital Circus, where it was like kind of hard to like really articulate exactly what like hit me so hard for me. But like because I'm glad like we've had the chance to like talk about this a bunch, because I feel
Yeah.
like being able to like talk about it with other people has really helped me like articulate my other thoughts.
100%.
Yeah.
I loved talking about it with you, like when we met up. It was really nice. I think in general it was so weird because again, like it is a show about the internet. It's a show about like the abstraction of the internet, and like it was resonating with me on that way. So like I don't know, like going to a real life movie theater to watch the internet cartoon, be surrounded by people who like it, be with like an online friend of mine. Like it felt like a lot of things that were like that are often only theoretical in my day-to-day life were kind of it's like collapsing into reality.
The intended experience.
Honestly,
like to me. Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sorry for hijacking the show, but
not at all.
I've written 10,000 words about the thing.
Let me just say, I think you should make that video because I think
I appreciate
everything
it.
you just said was very eloquent, and I like 100% agree, pretty much.
Thank you.
Well, I can't say I have the same or had the same appreciation for it that you did, but like you've definitely, I think, opened my mind up to a lot of the aspects that I didn't understand, but I can like totally see it now, the way that you kind of described it.
It's no problem at all. Yeah. It's totally fine. And because I was at work, I think I missed most of your hating anyway. So I have no.
I swear I wasn't hating.
Lars was not. Lars was pretty like.
Was he hating? I need to confirm.
Not really.
I'm at your mercy now. Okay.
Not like crazy. Like just kind of like.
Okay.
I feel like.
What did I say? What did I say at the beginning? I think the most hater I was about the characters when you were asking me about the characters, and I said I was like indifferent on Kane, and I think maybe the most negative thing that
that's the autark of flame you're talking about right there. Okay.
And that I didn't care for Pomni, or that Pomni was slightly annoying sometimes. I think that was like what got the biggest what's the opposite of applause? Boos.
Yeah.
Booing and hissing.
I think the most offensive thing you've said is that you don't like Bubble. I think that's low key. I think that's low key transphobic. I think we can cancel you for that.
The laundry show was over before it even began. It really is the end.
Oh wow.
The laundry show, the last act.
It's over.
It's over. No, it's only beginning. A new chapter. Thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you, Azzy, for coming to
No problem. No, I literally, like when you said here in the beginning, it's like, Azzy should be here, so I have someone to back me up.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like you're better at. I don't know. You're better at articulating certain things than I am.
I try my best. I just have autism.
It can help with those things. But
I'm so glad to be back, like in the Laundry Nation. This is wonderful. I should be on again.
Absolutely.
This is
100%. Yeah, this is a great way to kick off the show. I love an ad hoc call.
Yeah.
We need to bring this energy to the rest of them.
Yeah. And like the chat has been like pretty active too, from what I've seen.
Yeah, we had an AI chatbot.
You should mod that guy.
Yeah, prejudice.
They said AI viewers, streaming.com.
Yeah.
Laundry show, only 100% real viewers over here.
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Thank you everyone who listened, and we're gonna be doing more episodes soon. And thank you, Azzy, for joining.
No problem.
Shout out to the Larder Nation. And
shout outs to Gangle, my girl, my goat.
Gangle's awesome. And shout out to you, the viewer. All right. Love y'all. Bye.
Bye. Thank you for watching. Bye.